Check, check, check. Ooh, you guys can hear that. Hate these live? Chairs.
All right, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
He's saying we're good.
Oh, it is good.
You're Start the show, baby. Let's go.
Little game day jitters. Yeah, we're good.
Oh, this is the DNVR Broncos pregame show presented by our friends over at Coors Light. You can see a bunch of Coors Lights over there. We got some awesome Coors Lights hats, which maybe we can give a couple of these away at the end of the show, too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we got 3 of them over here. Yeah, like I said, this is the pregame show. We're taping it here from the DNVR Broncos tailgate. For those of you who are watching online, you should be here because it's way more fun here. We've got a bunch of food from Sexy Pizza, from Saucy's Barbecue, all sorts of good stuff.
How's everyone feeling?
Oh, we're going hype, yes.
Come on!
Yes, there we go.
Come on!
There we go.
Let's go. It's fucking game day.
How you doing, Benny?
I'm doing good, man. It's game day. It's opening day. I'm really excited about just the offseason, what the Broncos did in the offseason, the additions in free agency, the draft, and then now it's time to put it to the test. And opening day brings a lot of jitters. I wish I was out there. I wish I was going to run out there and see Broncos Country today, but I'm here with you guys, and I'm ready to enjoy it with you guys.
Yeah, I was thinking about it on the way over. You probably don't have much experience with tailgates because you're usually playing in the game.
My tailgating experience is really I don't have much of it. I tried to do tailgating at Michigan State after I got done playing there,
okay.
and it's hard to make it to the game. I mean, I got 2 blitzed before the game,
yeah.
So I'm an amateur tailgater. So you guys have to teach me.
Oh, see, that's the thing is we practiced all through college, and so we were in shape for that. By the time you just had to get thrown right in.
Yeah, exactly.
For those who don't know, I'm Henry Chisholm. This is Ryan Koenigsberg, Super Bowl 50 champion. Benny Fowler over here.
Appreciate it.
Let me hear for that.
Yes,
Let me hear for that.
Yes. Let's jump in from the top. Biggest storylines here. What to you, Ryan, is the biggest storyline of the Week 1 game?
I think it just comes down to, can the offense get off to a hot start? Can the team get off to a hot start? You know, it's 3 years in a row now that this team has kind of sputtered out of the gate. And with the expectations being as high as they are going into this season, I think that the fan base, the team, the coaching staff, everyone just wants to see this team get out there and show what they can do immediately. And thank you to the NFL schedule makers for giving the Broncos a very favorable matchup at home at 2 o'clock game to start the season. There's really no excuses to not get off to a hot start and start it with this game. And so to me, that's the biggest storyline. It's like, let's go out there, send a message to the NFL like the Broncos are back.
Yeah.
I think the Broncos are back, and I think we will take another step. We obviously got to the playoffs last year, but, Ryan, I have to disagree. I think we will get off to a little bit of a slow start on offense, and the reason why I say this is because I played for Sean in 2020. Mm-hmm. Sean's offenses usually get off to a slow start, so when he starts a season, he starts off with a long list of different personnels, and he's trying to figure out who are going to be the players to make the plays. And you can't go – it's hard to go into a game, I should say, with 55, 60 personnels. Usually in a season you have 20 to 25. So I think by week 4 it'll be more consistent in terms of the play calling. But yeah, I think we're going to get off to a little bit of a rocky start. And you saw it in preseason as well. Bo's going into year 2, but we have to establish a run game, and we'll see. Now guys like Troy Franklin, Evan Engram have to get ingrained into the offense. I think that's going to take a little bit of time, a little bit of rhythm.
Yeah, I mean, this is their first chance to see what works and what doesn't. You know, you go into the season with an idea. You know, they've been working on the wide zone running. They're trying to throw it back to the Terrell Davis, Clinton Portis type days here. And, you know, in preseason we get to see a little bit of it, but we don't know for sure if that's working or not. They don't know for sure if that's working or not, whether the bootlegs off of that are working. So you go out there, and what Sean has said is, we're just trying to do what we do best in week one so that we can give ourselves a chance to kind of set a baseline and build from there. It's tough, though, when this is your first chance to really test things over and over. So we might see a pretty simple, in some ways, game plan that they try to build off of in future weeks. But I'm curious, especially watching these games around the rest of the league this morning. There haven't been a lot of explosive offenses. These offenses aren't going out there and tearing it up in week one. There's a lot of, as we get to halftime, you know, 7-3, 10-7, 10-3. And it makes me just a little bit nervous for this game. Not that I think the Broncos will lose. I really like their chances. It just, will it be as pretty as Broncos fans want it to be when you're going up against a team that had the #1 pick last year?
It rarely is.
Rarely.
We have high expectations. We have high standards. We expect greatness at all times.
Yeah. 100%. I think also one of the key storylines is going to be how our offensive line matches up with their defensive line. Obviously, Jeffrey Simmons coming there.
Love the shirt. Yes.
Love the shirt.
Love that one. Are we selling shirts here? We should be, if not.
I think we are.
Okay.
But, yeah, our offensive line versus their defensive line. We saw what Jeffrey Simmons said about Bo Nix this week. He obviously doesn't know what he's talking about. Bo has obviously and can understand progressions and goes through progressions. But Jeffrey Simmons talks about the fact that Bo, once he doesn't see his first read, he takes off with his legs. It sounds like that he doesn't want to chase Bo around, and Bo can make plays because one of the best quarterbacks in the league, Patrick Mahomes, does that. So what's the problem?
Yeah.
Is it a problem because Bo does it? So I'm looking forward to seeing what our offensive line does to their defensive line, because their defensive line was pretty good and pretty stout last year. How are we going to establish the run? That is what is going to help Bo, and that is what is going to get us back into the playoffs this year, is how we establish the run in our offensive line.
Henry and I were kind of talking about that comment from Jeffrey Simmons. Is like, he's trying to bait him. Like, Benny, if you and I were playing one-on-one in basketball, I know I have no chance of stopping you on the drive, so I'm just going to be like, this guy never shoots.
Yeah.
This guy can't shoot threes. He hates doing that and try to convince you to shoot, so I don't have to try and stop you from driving.
Yeah, I'm thinking, you want to play one-on-one?
Let's do it. Where's the hoop?
No, but yeah, I definitely think he's trying to bait him in, but Bo's going to do what Bo does, and he's a natural player, and he's very instinctive, and Bo's going to take off and use his legs today, and Jeffrey Simmons, good luck in this altitude trying to chase him down.
Right, and for those who didn't hear exactly what happened, Jeffrey Simmons, the all-pro defensive tackle for the Titans this week, said, we know what Bo Nix does. Bo Nix is a one-read quarterback, and if that one read isn't there, he's just going to take off and run. And he didn't just say it once, he said it twice. As Sean Payton came out and said, well, that's actually not true at all. Like, we talked about it. It's not true. What Bo has a tendency to do is go through his reads a little bit quickly, and sometimes that first read comes open, but he's already on to the second read, and then he's on to the third, and then he takes off. And so the effect can be somewhat the same. He takes off quickly and runs. But I'm curious, Benny, do you see what Jeffrey Simmons sees? That he's a one-read quarterback and then he goes?
I don't see what Jeffrey Simmons sees, only because I've had a chance to watch Bo. I'm probably watching more film than Jeffrey is.
Probably.
On Bo.
Wow.
So that's what I will say about that. I think Bo does make quick decisions, and I think usually you get a man-zone read on every play, and if Bo is taking that man-zone read and he's digesting that, and if his man read isn't there, yes, he takes off and uses his legs to extend the play.
Yep.
That is what all the top quarterbacks in the league are doing. Sean talked about in the preseason the fact that Bo Nix can be a top four or top five quarterback. What do all the quarterbacks right now in the league do really well that are in the top 4 or top 5? They dissect the play really well. Oh, 1, 2, the read's not there, and then they take off and run. We talk about Lamar Jackson. We talk about Josh Allen. So I don't see actually what Jeffrey Simmons sees at all. Actually, his point doesn't make any sense. Maybe he's trying to get his team amped up and get his team ready to go. But the point doesn't actually make any sense when you actually look at the top quarterbacks in the league. They all run. I think the only top quarterback in the league that I would think of, he's not a top four or top 5, but is Matthew Stafford. But other than that, they're all dual threat quarterbacks, and that's exactly what Bo is, and I think he might be a little threatened.
So big storyline number 1 is the hot start.
Can they get to
the hot start? Number 2, Jeffrey Simmons saying Bo Nix is a one-read quarterback. What's the number 3 storyline here?
Number 3 storyline is how do we put Evan Engram into this offense. What does Evan Engram look like today?
Okay.
We saw the one big play that he had in the second preseason game with Jared Stidham. But how does Evan Engram show up in week 1 today? Because we know he is going to be a huge focal point in this offense. Sean Payton talked about him being that joker and somebody who can do things. You can line him up at receiver. You can put his hand in the dirt. You can line him up at that flex tight end position. So what does Evan Engram look like today, opening day here in front of Broncos Country? This is a dynamic signing. We haven't seen anybody like Evan Engram playing the tight end position since this guy right here, Shannon Sharp. So, and there's obviously been Julius Thomas and other players, but the dynamic running ability of Evan Engram, what does that look like today? That's my biggest storyline. That is what I am watching for, is how does he get placed into this offense today?
Yeah, and I would expand that even to how do the rest of the playmakers fit in, specifically in the passing game. I think J.K. Dobbins is going to kind of lead the way in the rushing game. I'm curious, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, Pat Bryant, like how do those three shake out in terms of just time on the field versus the targets, just opportunities that they're given, and what do they do with them?
I see big plays going to Troy today. I think Sean is going to try to get him the ball early and often, maybe on a hitch route or a quick screen, but something to get him going, and then take some deep shots with him.
The last time he was on the field was against the Bills. I had Troy Franklin first touchdown.
Did you?
I'm going right back to it. Going right back to the well today. Troy Franklin first touchdown.
To start the season.
To start the season.
Nice. I had a chance to talk to Troy. Actually, so I had 2 chances to talk to Troy. I talked to him on Thursday, talked to him again on Friday, because on Thursday it was like the end of open locker room. I was like, Troy, do you have a minute? Got through one question, then we got kicked out. Friday, got to talk with him for like 10, 15 minutes about all sorts of stuff, which you can read at thednvr.com. Wrote up the entire interview. But he is just in a totally different place. His head was spinning last year, whether it's like physically. You go into a season as a 180-pound receiver in the NFL, a little bit scary.
Yeah.
Get that up to 190, 187. It feels a little bit better. He feels a little bit more confident. He said his legs felt like they just weren't strong enough on the go routes. Like he'd get 25 yards in, and then the strength would go, which was interesting to me because you see him as I had never thought that could be an issue. The mental side, he's comfortable in the slot now. They're going to be moving him around. I think so many things are just kind of breaking Troy's way that I agree. I think I have a little bit of money on Troy today, and we're going to talk about that in particular a little bit later on.
It's interesting to hear Troy say that, because for him to feel like he had heavy legs last year is a really good sign for Broncos country, because he was still running by people all game last year.
Yeah.
I mean, there are plenty of opportunities and times where he ran by people, he just didn't make the play.
Yep. Right.
The fact that he has that confidence now and he feels a little bit stronger is an exciting sign. And we talked a lot during the draft, and we talked about free agency, about the Broncos adding a receiver. And somebody on third down who could be that Emmanuel Sanders type. And I think Troy, at least I was looking for somebody, a Cooper Kupp or whatever, in free agency, and we saw Sean say, no, we got a great receiver room. And then you saw Troy take all of those steps. And now I do see him as that Emmanuel Sanders type, somebody that can win on the intermediate routes, the 12 to 14 yard. We saw him catching the ball across the middle in preseason. We saw double moves. We saw touchdowns. We saw swagger. We saw confidence. We saw him, talking cash. So I'd love to see it.
I really like it. Before we hit this break, let's hit a couple notes real quick. We'll keep it quick. Big ones are just the injuries. Broncos did a good job in training camp staying away from the injuries. This week they hit a little bit. Most notably, Dre Greenlaw's quad flared up. It's an injury he's been dealing with since the spring. It's kept him off the practice field multiple times. He won't be out there today. Hopefully he'll be back next week, but we'll have to wait a bit to see the debut of Dre Greenlaw in Denver. Also, Malcolm Roach had something flare up this week. I believe his was a calf for him. And so he will not be playing. Changes the depth chart a bit. Caught up with Iniuwazurike. Sounds like he's going to get to play quite a bit today. Curious to see how that goes. And then the other absence is Dondre. No, he's healthy. I guess we're good. I think that might be
our notes guy, bro.
No.
Don't look at us.
We came in so fast.
I'm worried about the Dre Greenlaw.
I'm
really worried about the Dre Greenlaw injury. The fact that he's not playing in week 1 after getting a couple weeks off during training camp, and somebody that we know who can set the tone. I am a little worried about that. We obviously have incredible depth with the defense, so we're going to be able to be fine. But I want to see Dre Greenlaw back. We need to see him in pads in September.
Who starts in his place? Sternad?
Sternad. This will be a big day for Sternad. And we're just so lucky to have Justin Sternad on this team, a guy who's been around for, 5-6 years now?
Yeah.
A guy who just slides right in, knows Alex Singleton well, plug him right in there. It'd be a lot of fun to have Dre Greenlaw. Hey, Justin's a great backup.
Yep,
And
great backup.
I think Justin gives you a little bit, well, depending on how things go today, but hopefully it goes well, which it has the last year or so that he's been on the field.
Right.
And it gives you the opportunity to be patient with Dre Greenlaw, which I think is going to be paramount.
Yes. I mean, if you're looking at Dre and saying, hey, might get like 10 games out of him this season. Hopefully this isn't one of those games you need him. You get to be patient, save him. Don't
I'll
let him
happily take the last 10 if that's my option.
Last 10 would be the ideal situation. Absolutely. One more note, L'Jarius Sneed, still don't have official status for him. Top corner, of course, for the Titans. We've seen him a lot in Denver since he was the top corner for the Chiefs back in the day. He was questionable coming into this game. No update yet. By the time you guys are watching this, we might know for sure. That'd be a big absence, though, if all of a sudden the number one corner's gone for the Titans.
Yeah, if he's not out there, I mean, look for us to take advantage of their secondary anyway, just based off of the way that Sean calls plays. We're going to find those matchups. But if he's not out there, I mean, look for a lot of plays down the field and testing their. They got a young secondary. So yeah, if he's not out there, he's been a good corner, and he knows the Broncos well. He knows Cortland Sutton well. But I like our matchups all day.
Yes, me too.
Let's go.
Let's give a couple shout-outs to some of our friends, including our friends over at Bet365. Bet365 is just the best, especially on a Saturday.
Yep.
We're sitting there all day, just typing stuff in, making some money.
Yesterday, I put in a bet on Mississippi State money line.
Me too.
I'm just doing the post-game show for Buffs. All of a sudden, I get a Bet365 alert on my phone. It's like, your bet has won. I'm like, what? I look down, they're up 17-0. Early payout offer from our friends at Bet365.
Incredible. Hawaii last night. I watched the entire Hawaii game, which is probably a mistake the night before.
What time did it end?
1:45 or so, I would guess.
I love
but
it.
Dedicated.
The thing is, I was sweating it out at the end because I'd taken 3 bets. They wound up covering all of them. Bet365 is the best. It's NFL season. We love them. They're official partners of the Avs, the Nuggets, and they also have a bunch of specials going for the NFL season, including the early payout offer. Breaking news from Bet365. New customers now get $300 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code DNVR365. Deposit $10, place a bet for $5, get $300 in bonus bets. If your bet wins or loses, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Also, shout out to our friends at Coors Light. They make all of this possible. A lot of people drinking a lot of Coors Lights here. We got a bunch of Coors Lights. Ryan's got the
raise your Coors Lights up.
Yes, raise the
If you got a Coors Light.
Lights.
Throw it up if you got a Coors Light in your hand. Hell yeah.
Great day. Unfortunately, not playing at Coors. Fortunately, not playing at Coors Field. But
That would
still,
be weird.
That would be kind of interesting to see, though.
Cool.
You know, it
I'd
always
watch.
throws me off whenever they play a football game. One of the fields that has like the hybrid stadiums, because you see like third base is on one 30-yard line, first base on another 30-yard line. You're like, wait, that's a 40-yard throw that they're making look easy. You see it on TV, it doesn't feel that.
The ball's
way.
a lot smaller.
That's true. A lot easier to throw. A lot easier to throw. Coors Light's the best, though. We're going to be watching or drinking them during the watch along, during the post game show. Drink them along with us. And make the most out of times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Beer.
Quick shout out, too, to just the tailgate here.
Yeah.
What a vibe, man.
Yeah.
This is
shout
just
out
the
to
best.
Broncos Country, DNVR.
I don't know where else you could go and get a tailgate that has, like, unlimited Coors Light, saucy Southern barbecue, pizza,
Cornhole, of course.
You could watch the pregame show live.
Right. You can watch the red zone in there. A lot of people in there watching. Awesome tailgate. If you guys are coming out to a game, make sure you come over here.
And if not, go to the bar where we'll be in like an hour.
We will be watching the end of these morning games. It's going to be a lot of fun. Big question today. Is a win for the Broncos? Is that all it takes? If the Broncos win this game, do we leave happy, smiling?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
I knew Benny's answer.
100%. Win is a win. I don't care how it looks. It can be ugly. It can be 6-3. Winning in NFL games are hard. Most NFL games end in one score. So when I think about starting week 1, getting a win is super important and getting that momentum. So, yeah, of course we want it to look good. We want offense, defense, and special teams to play A-plus ball all around. But at the end of the day, we want to be 1-0.
Yeah, as we were talking about this game going out through the week, I was just like, if Benny was here, he would just be cringing at some of the things we were saying. Because, yes, a win is always a win in the NFL. You're going to play 17 of these. Anytime you walk out with something in the win column, you're going to be happy. Right. With that being said, I think there will be a lot of stress in Broncos country if the offense doesn't look better than it did most of the preseason. I think there will be some stress in Broncos country if the defense gets gashed up a couple times like Mac Jones did in the preseason. So I'm coming from a game where my Colorado Buffaloes won 31-7.
Right.
And everyone was still bitching about it. So I would be lying if I said, oh yeah, no matter what, 6-3 win is all sunshine and rainbows, everyone would be happy. I know that's not the truth. I agree with Benny in the sense that, these guys are getting paid a lot of money too. It's not going to be easy, but I know that there has to be a little bit of style points to avoid a week of stress going into a game against the Colts, who last I saw were up 17-0 on the Dolphins.
Yeah. Totally. And I mean, a month ago.
Oh, well. It's almost empty.
A month ago, I would have been totally on Arcade's side. As we get closer to the game, getting closer and closer to Benny, it feels like this is a game where, you're favored by 8.5 points. You're the biggest favorite in the entire league this week. You probably should go out there and win by 2 scores. Again, that's not always how the NFL goes.
Especially in week 1.
Exactly. And you start looking at what these guys have, hearing from Mike McGlinchey, who's played a lot against Sebastian Joseph Day back when they were both in the NFC West. That's a good defensive tackle, guy in the middle who can cause trouble, can stuff the run. You have him. You have Jeffrey Simmons. You have our old friend Draymond Jones. They have a bunch of guys who are good football players. Cody Barton, not the perfect linebacker. He's starting over there, and he plays pretty good football.
We should be able to attack him all day. He's one of the weak links.
Okay.
Their linebacking crew.
Attack him in what way?
Milk check.
How can we get him in and put him in positions where he has to guard an Evan Engram or he has to guard an R.J. Harvey out of the backfield?
Okay.
How do we do that? But, yes, going back to how we want things to look in week 1, we have the matchups. We have the better roster. This is where you do want things to, 21-7 or 28-14 was my prediction. But I don't think it's going to look easy. I think we could have, the offense start off the first couple of drives. Could be a 3-and-out in there. Who knows? But, I like Sean's first 15 plays of the game. But, they have a good team over there as well. Their receiving core is nice.
It is
nice.
And
obviously
nice.
We have Pat Surtain, but they got Lockett on the other end. They got the young kid from Colorado, or not Colorado, but from Stanford that ate up the Buffaloes, and then also Van Jefferson. They got some real players, and Calvin Ridley is a dog. And he is an incredible route runner. He's, caught 90 passes last year. He can play with any type of quarterback. And then Cam Ward, he is an alpha, and he goes out there and he tries to make plays. Do I think he will throw some picks today? Yeah, but he's not going to stop coming out there and firing the ball.
Totally. If just winning the game isn't a win, Ryan, what is?
I think that if the Broncos offense scores 24 points, more than 24 points.
More than 24.
So 25 or more. I think that people will be happy. People will be calm. And I think on the opposite side, the defense probably has to give up less than 14.
That's
so tough.
That's so tough to do. Especially
they could do that, though.
They totally could.
One touchdown and 2 field goals?
It's possible. Avoiding the touchdowns is obviously huge. If you can keep them to field goals, there's a good chance they can do it. But I look at this offense for the Titans, and like you said, the receivers are good. It comes down to Cam Ward. I was not a huge Cam Ward guy in the draft. I thought he had his flaws. I've been watching him for 6 years back when he was playing FCS football. We've seen a lot of Cam Ward. You watch him in those preseason games, though, as Vance Joseph said, if you leave 7 receivers open downfield, he's going to go 7 for 7. Yeah. He's not a guy who's going to miss throws, and he's going to make it look easy. You've got a guy on the sideline 25 yards downfield who's got a little separation. Bang. That's right there. That's what he does. It's about avoiding those situations where they have somebody open down there, or that he has time to wait for them to get open down there. And that's why, to me, this is all about the pass rush. You need to heat him up. You need to force him into quicker decisions. You need to force the play caller into calling quick throws, quick game, because that's where the timing, the rhythm just doesn't quite seem to be there yet based on the preseason, for whatever that's worth. Cam Ward scares me a little. there's a solid plan to contain him. It just takes heating him up, getting back there, hitting him, and hoping that he gives you a couple of mistakes.
Yeah, I think he will give us a couple of mistakes. And, Jeffrey Simmons should have been talking about Cam Ward, he will probably be a one-read guy today and taking off and running. But, I think, it's going to – how is Vance going to show different looks and disguises to confuse Cam Ward? Because he has not gone against NFL defenses yet. And that's one of the hardest things as an adjustment from college to the pros is how do you read coverage – while he's dropping back for a receiver, is how do you read coverages on the run? But, I expect Vance to show a lot of, maybe it's blitz 0 and then it goes to, cover 1, or it goes to cover 2, cover 4, or showing, cover 4, cover 2, and then bringing different blitzes and, different fire zone blitzes and cover 3. So I expect Vance to show a lot of different looks to get Cam Ward off of his game, and I expect us to maybe get a pick 6.
Let's go.
Oh,
I was thinking of
put a name on it.
Put a name on it? Riley Moss.
Yeah.
I like it.
I was thinking of putting that in as well as a potential first touchdown bet.
Oh.
Defense.
Ooh,
Defense first touchdown?
Yeah, it would.
Interesting.
I could see a tip ball to one of our linebackers or Talanoa, just somebody who finds himself always around the ball.
Yep.
In a pick 6.
Real quick.
Speaking of bets.
Okay, you want to go bets, or I'll
you
finish.
Do yours.
Benny, I wanted to hear from you. What does it feel like right now? It's 12:27. You got an hour and a half before kickoff on opening day.
What does it feel like? Well, when you're playing at home, it's just an incredible opportunity to, get ready to walk out onto that field and see everybody in orange. But right now, you're just kind of going through your pregame routine, and that's one of the things that's great about preseason for the NFL is that you can go through your pregame routine, but it won't hit the guys until you line up for the national anthem and the coin toss that it is.
What does that feel like?
It's incredible. I get emotional when I think about it. It's just you put in all that work, and then now you get that call that you've made the 53-man roster, and then now it's time to go out there and play and have an opportunity to showcase your skills on a Sunday in front of prove them right and then prove yourself right. When I was playing with Peyton, opening day was crazy. It's because, he's one of the best players. And even when I played in New York and New Orleans wasn't the same because it was COVID, but opening day is the best. It is the kickoff. You have all your vision for the season. You have your individual goals. You have your team goals. But now it gets to go out there and you get to do it. I had one of my best days on an opening day on Monday Night Football, 2 touchdowns against the Chargers.
Hell yeah.
And,
all
that stuff, all the way I operated throughout the preseason manifested itself into the start of the season.
That's awesome.
All right. We're going to close things out here. I've got a few bets. So let's just start at the top here with our Bet365 pregame picks. First bet, Broncos minus 8.5.
Yep.
We all like that?
I like it.
Gotta win by 9. Even with the fear, the understanding that you're playing NFL players, it's week 1, you still have to win by 14.
We win by 10.
Okay.
Or more.
Second one, plus 130, stealing a little juice here. Alex Singleton, 10-plus total tackles plus assists.
Ooh.
He's a tackling machine. I think
like
people
it.
forget.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, after last year, he has a crazy hot start. Best football he's played in his career. I think with no Dre Greenlaw, we probably see more of that penny front where it's just him kind of cleaning up behind the 5 rushers. I love that one. Here's the final pick. Plus 400. That's 4-1 odds. 14 rush attempts for J.K. Dobbins.
Wow.
Is that too
That's
many?
a plus 400,
Yeah,
though?
I know.
I like the value.
Because you could get it even odds at 10, 11. I like a plus 400. Give me 14. I think with the
you
lead,
get 14 carries?
I think this game, there might be 7 in the fourth quarter.
I was going to say we might see 6 on the first drive.
Well, there's 13 right there.
Yeah, plus 14 because, if you start to win that game, and they're not going to just force RJRV in there to get, his 15 carries. So, yeah, I like it.
The only reason why I think it's plus 400 is because I think the people saw how cautious they were with J.K. Dobbins in the preseason and are assuming that maybe the Broncos are going to be cautious with him throughout the season, knowing that he hasn't played a full season.
I think they want the hot start. I think they're saving him for this. I think they're going to unleash him. They're going to give RJ time to, figure things out, ease his way into the offense. Hopefully by the end of the year, here's going. I think they shoot JK out of a cannon, and they ride him as far as they can take him this year.
100%.
Today's JK day to me. We got about 30 seconds left. Any final thoughts, final predictions that you want to throw out there before we get out of here?
Hey, Broncos Country, it's week one. Let's enjoy it. I think it's going to be incredible to watch the Broncos get off to a great start. I got them winning 28-14, but if it doesn't look as great as you want to on offense, just know that it gets better week by week with Sean Payton.
I love it, man. I just can't wait to watch these guys go out there and ball. And what an opportunity they have today.
Totally. Join us on the watch along. We are going to be live from not the Toyota Lounge, but the DNVR bar where we're headed right now to hang out, watch this entire game. We got the post-game show coming after. Hopefully you guys stick with us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in a couple minutes.
We all silly like the mayor.